Hey, welcome. My name is Erica, and it's awesome that you, yes you, are here joining into Just Horrifying. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy. I want to say that the LGBT community have struggled for decades to overcome prejudice and be accepted for who they are. Everyone should be able to honor their identity, their sexuality, and their heart at all times, no matter who or how you love. I want to read a few quotes, and this one is by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. Another one is by Oprah Winfrey. You cannot hate other people without hating yourself. And the last one by John Lennon. Don't hate what you don't understand. Today's case is about Kedarie Johnson. Kedarie Johnson was a 16-year-old high school student in Iowa. He struck out amongst his peers. Kedarie, who identified as gender fluid, was a black teenager in the city of Burlington. He dated boys and girls, but often dressed as a woman, sometimes going by the name Candace and wearing braids, miniskirts, and makeup. The flamboyant teenager was popular amongst his fellow high school students. Most accepted and supported his gender identity. They said that the teen had the most unforgettable laugh, and his smile was contagious. On the night of March 2nd, 2016, Kedarie Johnson went to Hy-Vee around 8:55 p.m. I had to look what Hy-Vee was since I had no clue, and for those who don't know either, Hy-Vee is a supermarket in the Midwestern and Southern United States. So Kedarie ended up going there to use the store's Wi-Fi so he can do his homework. And this was a usual thing he does. Because they didn't have Wi-Fi at home, he ended up going to this supermarket to do his homework. So the Hy-Vee surveillance caught at least some of the activity going on. At around 9:40, the outside store camera catches a red Impala park, and a guy gets out. This guy who entered Hy-Vee was named George Sanders Galvez, also known as Lumi in the streets. Shortly after, another man gets out of the red car and enters the store. This guy's name was Jerron Perham, but also known as West in the street. At 10:02, Kedarie started to leave the Hy-Vee store, but stopped to either make a phone call or answer a phone call. And this was his mother, and his mother had told him it was time to get home. Kedarie didn't listen. Kedarie left the store roughly around 10:04, walked across the parking lot toward his friend Amari's house. Less than a minute after that, the two guys walked out of the store with groceries and got into the red Impala. West was driving and Lumi was in the passenger seat, and they started coming behind Kedarie and following him. Kedarie arrived at his friend Amari's house and stayed roughly around 15 to 20 minutes. Kedarie and Amari liked to hang out, watch Netflix, do their nails, but on this particular night, Kedarie borrowed bras from Amari. While at Amari's house, Kedarie said he was scared and told her that Lumi was following him. When Amari looked out the window, she saw the red Impala parked on her side of the street in front of her house. Lumi and West and some of their associates used a residence at 2610 Madison to consume or to traffic drugs and to have sex with the girls. Gunshots rung out in the East Walnut Alley at approximately 11:25 p.m. Multiple 911 callers reported hearing gunshots. One caller stated he observed headlights and a vehicle turning the corner really fast like he was trying to get away. The Burlington Police Department responded and eventually found Kedarie's body in the alley. Police smelled bleach in the alley, and the smell got stronger and stronger as they approached Kedarie's body. A black plastic bag was tied over Kedarie's head. His arms were raised above his head, and his shirt was pushed up, exposing his chest and bra. The trash bag over Kedarie's face had deformities that appeared as if like somebody was trying to grab it and pull it and actually stretched a hole in the bag. When police eventually removed the black trash bag from Kedarie's head in an attempt to identify the body, they found a bloody white t-shirt wrapped around his mouth and chin. A bottle of Dollar General brand bleach was between Kedarie's thighs, with the spout pointed towards his exposed genitals. Kedarie was wearing black leggings, but his shoes were missing. There were 2 visible gunshot wounds. One bullet hole went through Kedarie's bra, and the other was closer to the center of his midsection. Police eventually searched the 2610 Madison house when they got a lead, and found a box of Dollar General trash bags that matched those found on Kedarie's body. The police also found Kedarie's belongings, including his backpack, his school ID, his school-issued laptop, the bras borrowed by Amari, and Kedarie's black Nike shoes. Kedarie's body was cold and pulseless. Manner of death was homicide, and the cause of death was a gunshot wound to the chest. The autopsy also found evidence that Kedarie struggled to breathe before he died, and that he was shot at close range. The autopsy also revealed that a second black plastic trash bag had been tightly compressed and shoved into Kedarie's mouth. The bullets pierced Kedarie's aorta, heart, and liver, coming to rest in his lung and spine. About 2 weeks after the murder, the red Impala was spotted in Missouri. Police pulled over the red Impala, driven by Wes, for failing to signal. A record search showed the vehicle was wanted for a homicide. Missouri's police attempted to stop the vehicle with guns drawn, but West drove away, going 100 miles per hour. He ran several red lights, stop signs, and nearly struck a pedestrian, drove through front yards, ultimately struck police vehicle, and the vehicle continued southbound, crashed into a guardrail, doing approximately 40 miles an hour. West attempted to flee on foot before he was ultimately apprehended. When police officers approached the vehicle, they found a woman in the passenger seat with a 2-year-old boy huddled on the floorboard in the back seat. Police found a silver revolver with a wooden grip on the driver's side floorboard. The revolver was loaded with 6 live rounds. A forensic analyst confirmed that the bullets that killed Kedarie were fired by the .357. Also, the DCI criminalists found Wes's DNA on the gun and his fingerprints on the outside of the ammunition box. Jerron Perham, also known as West, who was 26, received the mandatory sentence with life in prison without the possibility of parole. George Sanders Galvez, also known as Lumi, was also convicted of first-degree murder and is likewise serving a life sentence with no chance of parole. Prosecutors at trial said that West stated him and Louis picked up Kedarie intending to have sex, and upon learning Kedarie was biologically a male, they got pissed and killed him. But Lumi stated they never even picked up Kedarie. Kedarie's mother wants her son's death to be declared a hate crime. Now, Iowa did not prosecute the case as a hate crime because the state's hate crime statute does not cover gender identity. The part that caught me by surprise was that many of Kedarie's friends believe that Kedarie and Lumi had a secret relationship, and Lumi was scared that Kedarie was going to say something and ended up killing him to keep him silent. Now, I think a hate crime is someone you hurt or you kill because you hate who they are. Now, in my opinion, if they had charged this case with a hate crime, it's kind of telling Kedarie's story. It sends a message and allows Kedarie to be a voice for others that are being murdered for just being themselves. It's a sad case that somebody died because of them being who they are. Just gotta stay true to yourself. Love yourself. Do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, that's what keeps you happy. Alright, you guys, well, take care, be safe, and until next time, bye.